production of The Music Man. Book and lyrics by Meredith Wilson, based on the story by Meredith Wilson and Franklin Lacey. During tonight's performance, a couple important things that you need to know. First of all, we're going to keep our masks on in the audience. Thank you for that. Also, there needs to be no flash photography during the show. And all throughout the show, the actors and actresses are in the aisles, running up and down the aisles in the dark. So please, no standing in the aisle. And if you need to get up and go out, please be careful and watch what you're doing. Now, ladies and gentlemen, sit back and relax and enjoy Louisburg High School's production of The Music Man.
River City, next station stop.
You're crazy with the heat. Credit is no good for a notion salesman.
All aboard?
Why not? What's the matter with credit?
It's old-fashioned. Charlie, you're an annual salesman. Your firm give credit?
No, sir.
Nor anybody else.
River City next.
Cash for the merchandise. Cash for the button hooks.
Cash for the cotton goods, cash for the hard goods.
Cash for the soft goods. Cash for the fancy goods.
Cash for the noggins and the piggins and the firkins.
Cash for the hogshead, cash and demijohn. Cash for the crackers and the pickles and the fire.
Look, what do you talk? 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 Where do you get it? What do you talk?
You can talk, you can talk, you can dicker, you can talk. talk. You can bicker, bicker, bicker. You can talk. You can talk. You can talk, 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 talk. Bicker, bicker, bicker. You can talk all you want, but it's different than it was.
No it ain't, but you gotta know the territory.
Why it's the Model T Ford made the trouble, made the people wanna go, wanna get up and go. 7, 8, 9, 10, 12, 14, 22, 23 miles to the county seat.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Who's gonna patronize a little bitty 2x4 kind of store anymore?
What do you talk? What do you talk?
Where do you get it? Not the Model T at all. Take a gator at the store, at the modern store, at the present day store, at the present day modern departmentalized grocery store.
What do you talk? What do you talk? What do you talk? What do you talk? What do you talk?
Where do you get it?
What do you talk? What do you talk? What do you talk?
You can talk, you can bicker, you can talk, you can bicker. You can talk, 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 bicker, bicker, bicker. You can talk all you want, but it's different than it was.
No it ain't, but you gotta know the territory.
Why, it's the you need a biscuit made the trouble, you need it, but the crackers in a package in a package. The you need a biscuit in an airtight sanitary package made the cracker barrel obsolete, obsolete.
Obsolete, obsolete, obsolete.
Cracker Barrel went out the window in the mail pouch, gut plug, John by the stove. Changed the approach of a traveling salesman, made it pretty hot.
No it didn't, but you gotta know the territory.
Gone.
Gone with the hogshead, casket, and demijohn. Gone with the sugar barrel, pickle barrel, milk pan. Gone with the tub and the bell and the tears.
Ever been a seller by the name of Hill?
Hill?
Hill.
No!
Just a minute.
Never heard of any salesman Hill.
Now he doesn't know the territory.
Doesn't know territory.
What's the fella's
He
line?
never worries about his
He
line.
never worries about his line.
Or the Cracker Barrel being obsolete. Or that you need a biscuit in an airtight sanitary package with a Model T Ford.
Just a minute.
He never worries about his line.
Never worries about his line.
Or a doggone thing. He's just a baby, bell ring, big hall, great go, necker nothing, brick roar, never time the bullseye salesman. That's Professor Harold Hill.
Tell us, what's his line? What's his line?
He's a fake and he doesn't know the territory.
Look, what do you talk? What do you talk? What do you talk? What do you talk?
He's a music man.
He's a what? He's a what?
He's a music man, and he sells clarinets to the kids in the town with the big trombones and the rat-a-tat drums and the big brass bass, and the piccolo, uniforms too, with the shiny gold braid on the coat and a big red stripe running.
Well, I don't know much about bands, but I do know you can't make a living selling big trombones. No, sir. Mandolin picks, perhaps, and here and there Jews are.
No, the fella sells bands, boys' bands. And I don't know how he does it, but he lives like a king, and he dallies and he gathers, and he plucks and he shines, and when the man dances, certainly boys, what else? A piper pays him. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And when the man dances, certainly boys, what else? A piper pays him. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
But he doesn't know the territory.
River City, we've crossed the borderline in the Iowa River City. Population 2,212. Cigarettes illegal in this state. Board?
All right, if you're all through, I'll tell you about Harold Hill.
You really know Harold Hill?
Never met him in my life, but I know this much. He's given every single one of us a black eye. After he's worked a town over, the next salesman to arrive automatically gets tarred and feathered and rode out to city limits on a rail. You think that's funny? Wait till it happens to you. I hear the hair never grows back.
But why should we get run out of town on the rail?
Because in order to sell band instruments and uniforms and instruction books, he has to guarantee to teach the kids to play.
Well,
And to form them kids into a band with himself as the leader.
And what's wrong with that?
He don't know one note from another, that's what's wrong with that. He don't know a bass drum from a pipe organ. I'll catch up with that swindling two-bit double ringer, and when I do, I'll squeal on him so loud.
Whoa there, Charlie. You sure like to be there when you finally get over that, fella.
Well, it won't be on this trip. Not an Iowa. Even the great Professor Harold Hill would try to sell those neck-bowed Hawkeyes out here.
On the board?
Gentlemen, you intrigue me. I think I'll have to give Iowa a try.
Don't believe I caught your lead.
You're Mr. Squires. I'm interested in a rig for Sunday if you could accommodate me.
Then I'd expect you not to see the man in charge of hiring rigs, who is late as usual.
Hey, Gregory!
Marcellus!
You old son of a gun! Shh. Greg.
Professor Hill's name. Harold Hill.
But Greg, what are you doing here? What are you doing? You was coming.
I didn't know I was coming myself. Plus, how did I know you'd end up with a tank town like this? You were a pretty big slicker when you were in business with me.
Don't need close shaves the way you wig. Besides, I got me a nice, comfortable goy. Ethel Toffenweiler, boss's niece.
Gone legitimate, eh? You coming no good.
Well, what's the new pitch? You're not back in the band business. I heard you was in steam automobiles.
I was.
Well, what happened?
Someone actually invented one.
No.
Don't give me the lowdown here, Mars.
You'll never get anywhere in this town with these stubborn irons. Besides, we got ourselves a stuck-up music teacher who exposed you before you even get your grip unpacked.
Male or female?
The music teacher? She's a librarian. Female.
Perfect. That's what I like to hear. Make sure to point her out to me if you see her walking by.
I will. Hang and stop the pitch.
Same old way. Keep the music teacher off balance. The next thing, get this town out of the serious trouble it's in.
Oh, but Greg, River City ain't no trouble.
Not to create something. Create a desperate need for a voice band. What's new around here? What can I use?
Nothing. Oh, except the billiards parlor just put in a new pool table.
Never had the pool here before?
Nope. Only billiards.
That'll do. Oh, and Marsh, remember, music teacher.
Music teacher.
You're Mr. Dunlop.
Why, yes, sir.
Either you're closing your eyes to a situation you do not wish to acknowledge, or you are not aware of the caliber of disaster indicated by the presence of a pool table in your community. Well, you got trouble, my friends. Right here, I say trouble right here in River City. Why, sure, I'm a billiard player, certainly mighty proud to say it, I'm always mighty proud to say it. I consider that the hours I spend with the cue in my hand are golden. Helping cultivate horse sense, and a cool head, and a keen eye. Did you ever take and try to fire an ironclad leap from yourself from a 3-rail billiard shot? But just as I say, it takes judgment, brains and maturity to score in a ball-blind game I said that any boo can take and shove a ball in any pocket. And I call that slot the first big step on the road to the depths of dagger day. I say first, medicinal wine from a teaspoon, then beer from a bottle. And the next thing you know, your son is playing for money in a pinchback suit. And listen to some big out-of-town Jasper here to tell about horse race gambling. Not a wholesome trotting race, no, but a race where they're sitting down right on a horse. Like to see some stuck-up cocky boy sitting on Dan Patch, make your blood boil? Well, I should say. Now, folks, let me tell you what I mean. You got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 pockets in a table. Pockets that mark the difference between a gentleman and a bum with a capital B, and that rhymes with P, and that stands for fool. And all week long, your River City youth will be frittering away, saying your young men will be frittering away with their noon time, supper time, chore time too. Get the ball in the pocket, never mind getting dandelions pulled or the screen door packed or the beefsteak pounded. Never mind pumping any water till your parents are caught with the cistern empty on a Saturday night, and that's your trouble. Yes, you got lots and lots of trouble. I'm thinking of the kids in the knickerbocker shirt tails, young ones peeking in the pool hall. Winter after school, you got trouble. Folks, right here in River City. Trouble with the capital T, and that rhymes with P, and that stands for pool. Now, I know all you folks are the right kind of parents. I'm gonna be perfectly frank. Would you like to know what kind of conversation goes on while they're loafing around the hall? They be trying out Bevo, trying out Cubets, trying out tailor-mates like cigarette beans, and bragging all about how they're gonna cover up a telltale friend with Simpson one fine night. They leave the pool hall, headed for the dance of the army, libertine men and scarlet women in ragtime. Shameless little drag your son and your daughter with the arms of the jungle, animal instinct, mass hysteria. Friends, the idle brain is the devil's playground trouble. Right here in River City, with a capital T and that rhymes with P, and that stands for pool. We surely got trouble. Right here in River City. Gotta figure out a way to keep the young ones moral after school. Our children's gonna have trouble. Mothers of River City, eat this morning before it's too late. Watch for the telltale signs of corruption. The moment your son leaves the house, does he rebuckle his knickerbockers below the knee? Is there a nicotine stain on his index finger? A dime novel hidden in the corn crib? Has he begun memorizing jokes out of Captain Willie's whiz bang? Are certain words starting to creep into his conversation? Words like swell, and so's your old man. If so, you got trouble. Right here in your city, with a capital T and that rhymes with P, and that stands for pool. We surely got trouble. Right here in River City. Remember the Maine, Plymouth Rock, and the Golden Rule. Oh, we're in trouble. We're in terrible, terrible trouble. That game is the 15 numbers ball, the devil's tool. Oh, we're in trouble, trouble, trouble. With the T, rhyming with P, and that stands for pool. Did you drop your...
No.
Didn't I meet you in...
No.
Well, I'll only be in town a short while.
Good. Yes, Mama. Keep on, Amaryllis. I'll be there in a minute. Hello, Mama. Fine, dear. Now your exercises.
Yes, Miss Marion. I don't remember the library being open last 4th of July.
It was, Mama. All evening. Mama, a man with a suitcase has been following me all over town.
Oh?
Never saw him before.
Did he say anything?
He tried.
Did you say anything?
Of course not. Now don't dawdle, Amaryllis. So do the re, ti, mi, a little slower, and please keep your fingers curved and nice and high as you possibly can. Don't get faster, dear.
If you don't mind my saying so, it wouldn't have hurt you to figure out what the gentleman wanted.
I know what the gentleman wanted.
What, dear?
You'll find it in Balzac.
Well, excuse me for living, but I've never read it.
Neither has anyone else in this town.
There you go again with that same old comment about the low mentality of River City people and taking it all too much to heart.
Now, Mama, as long as the Madison Public Library was entrusted to me on the purpose of improving River City's cultural level, I can't help my concern that the ladies of River City keep ignoring all my counsel and advice.
But, darling, when a woman's got a husband and you've got none, why should she take advice from you? Even if you can quote Balzac and Shakespeare and all them other highfalutin Greeks.
Now, Mama, if you don't mind me saying so, you have a bad habit of changing every subject.
No, I haven't changed the subject. I was talking about the stranger.
What stranger?
With the suitcase. Maybe your very last chance.
Now, do you think I allow a common fashion now? Really, Mama, I have my standards where men are concerned. I have no intention.
I know all about your standards, and if you don't mind my saying so, there's not a man alive who could hope to measure up to the blend of Paul Bunyan, St. Pat, and Noel Webster you concocted for yourself out of your Irish imagination, your Irish stars, and your library full of books.
Well, the best I've ever heard.
Thank you. Can I have a drink, please?
May I have a?
May I have a drink, please?
You may.
Winthrop, it's after dark. Is that a way to walk into the house? Oh, that won't do at all. I'll have a kiss from me, boy. That lady over there is your sister, young man. Hello, Winthrop. Winthrop, where are your manners?
I'm having a party on Saturday. Will you please come? I would especially like it very much if you come, Winthrop.
Will, Winthrop? Amaryllis asked you to her party. Are you going or aren't you?
No.
No, what?
No, thank you.
You know the little girl's name?
He won't say Amaryllis because of the S, because of his lips. He's ashamed.
We know all about his lisp, Amaryllis. Will, Winthrop?
I'll bet he won't say it. No, thank you, Amaryllis. Amaryllis! Amaryllis! He's crying. Why does he get so mad at people just because he lisps?
It's not just because he lisps, Amaryllis. That's just part of it.
What's the other part?
Never mind, dear. It's just he doesn't talk much.
Not even to you and your mother?
No, dear. You'll have to be a little patient.
I'm patient, even though he doesn't ever speak to me. But I do him. Every night I say goodnight to him on the evening star. And you have to do it the very second you see it too, or it doesn't count. Good night, my Winthrop. Good night. Sleep tight.
Oh, there, don't cry, dear. You have plenty of time. If not Winthrop, there'll be someone else.
Never! But old me, like you! I'm so sorry, Miss Marion. Can I play my crosshair, please?
May I play mine?
may I play my cross-hand piece?
You may.
See, without a sweetheart, you have no one to say goodnight to on the evening star.
I know, Amaryllis. For the time being, just say goodnight, my someone. You can put in the right name when the right someone comes along.
All right, it's better than nothing.
Yes, it is. Now you can play your crosshand piece.
Now I may play my cross-hand piece.
I'm sure we're all grateful to my wife, Eulalie McKechnie Shin, for leading the singing, and to J.C. Squires for his fine Siroctican slides. And to Ethel Toffelmeyer, our fine player piano. As mayor of River City, I welcome you, my fellow River Citizens, to the 4th of July exercises, set up for the indoors here in Madison Gymnasium. Account the weather, 4-score-and-7. 4-score-and-7. The members of the school board will now present a patriotic tableau. The members of the school board will not present a patriotic tableau. Some disagreement about costumes, I suppose. Instead, the local wigwam of Kielbasa will present a spectacle, My Wife, in which my wife, Eulalie McKechnie Shin, will take a leading part. Mrs. Shin will recover, no thanks to a certain ruffian who's a disgrace to our city, 4-score-and-7. The Payne's fireworks spectacle last days of Pompeii will take place provided the rain stops by 9:30. It'll be at the Madison Picnic Park in the far meadow, across the creek from the Piss House.
How can it be raining? Didn't the Gazette predict fair?
Sure did, Eeyore. That's why we're all prepared for a storm.
The Gazette's accurate most time, and you know it, JC.
You wouldn't last very long in the banking business, being accurate most of the time.
Well, you wouldn't last very long in
Looks like number 8's late again tonight.
I make her early.
Oh, she's late, all right.
She's right on time. What's the matter with your watch?
No, but
You never so like clear out liquid in public.
All I ever said was...
Never mind. 4-score-and-7.
I heard there's a pool table in town.
Yeah, that's what I heard.
Now, just a minute.
Is it a pool table or isn't it?
Will you allow me to go on with the exercises?
I don't want any more exercises till we get this pool table matter settled.
Let's protect our children. Resist corruption. Smite the devil and keep our young boys pure. Friends, may I have your attention, please? Attention, please. I can deal with this trouble, folks, with the wave of my hand, this very hand. Please observe me, if you will. I'm Professor Harold Hill, and I'm here to organize a River City Boys Band. Oh, think, my friends, how could any pool table hope to compete with a gold trombone? Rah, rah, ra-da-da-da-da, rah, rah. Remember, my friends, what a handful of trumpet players did to the famous, fabled walls of Jericho. Oh, billiard parlor walls come tumbling down. Oh, a band don't do it, my friends. Oh, yes, I mean a boys' band. Do you hear me? As a Professor Harold Hill on hand, River City's gonna have her boys' band. As sure as the Lord made little green apples. And that band's gonna be in uniform. Johnny, Willie, Teddy, Fred. And you'll see the glimmering of crashing cymbals. And you'll hear the thunder of rolling drums. And you'll feel something akin to the electric bill I once enjoyed when Gilmore, Liberati, Pat Conway, the great Creator, W.C. Handy, and John Philip Sousa all came to town on that very same historic day. 76 trombones led the big parade, the 110 cornets close at hand. They were followed by rows and rows of the finest brightness, virtuosos, the cream of every famous band. 76 trombones caught the morning sun, the 110 cornets right behind. There were more than 1,000 reeds springing up like weeds. There were horns of every shape and kind. There were copper-bottom, timpani, and horse platoons. Thundering, thundering all along the way. Double bell, you
Strangler Lewis, laying in that for 3.5 hours, without moving a muscle. Never mind. I want that man's credentials. Drop it, Pippa. He wants to miss his shit.
Thank you, Professor. Gotta make an example of him. Ringleader, you know, what he does, the gang does.
Keely Clyde, let me go.
You wild kid, ya. Hanging around my oldest girl. His father's one of them day laborers south of town. You wild kid, ya. Tagging out Main Street out my oldest girl last Sunday.
I wasn't either tagging.
You watch your phraseology, young man.
We was just walking together.
I know what you're doing. My little Gracie seen you. Now you stay away from my oldest girl. You don't hear from me until who laid the rails. Hill, I'll talk to you Monday morning about this band business over at City Hall, 10 o'clock sharp. Men, I want that snowbinder's credentials.
Constable, I'll be responsible for the boy.
You don't know this kid. He's tough, and he's got his gang waiting outside for him.
Oh, I'll be careful. Tommy, I wanted to talk to you about the band.
Oh, gee, that's little kid stuff, Professor.
Not playing in the band. You're mechanically minded, aren't you? Ever deal with perpetual motion?
I nearly had it a couple of times.
Really? That's great. Did you know they've never created a music holder for a marching piccolo player? Nowhere to hang the music.
I wonder where I could get some wire from.
Probably in your cellar. That's where most people keep wire. Oh, and Tommy, now Constable, this is how you break up a gang. Oh, miss. Oh, excuse me. Oh, what's your name?
Senora, I didn't have any idea you was beckoning to me, ye gods.
Do you know Tommy Gillis?
Well, I...
Good. Tommy, this is Anita. I want you to escort this young lady home.
Except he's not going. I have to go to the library, ye gods.
Then escort this young lady home by way of the library. By way of the candy store.
Yes, sir. Do I have to?
You have to.
Ye gods!
You know, Professor, you're a pretty bright young fella. You made a couple mistakes, though.
Uh-oh.
The mayor happens to own that billiard parlor and that new pool table.
And what was my other mistake?
That's Anita. That's the mayor's oldest girl.
Just a minute, Professor. We need your credentials. We're the school board.
Academic certificates.
Nothing of the kind.
We need letters and papers.
Make him put up a bond.
What's this I hear? Say, ice cream.
Ice cream. But I don't see them, man. If that's what you're...
Talk down here.
Ice cream.
Talk slow.
Ice cream.
Now you
Ice cream.
Now you, sir.
Ice cream.
Now you, sir.
Ice cream.
Ladies, from now on, you will never see one of these men without the other three.
Oh, Professor, you're wrong. Why, they've hated each other for 15 years.
Ice cream. Ice cream. Ice cream.
How can there be
Any sense here? Where is the good and goodbye and goodbye? Your apprehensions confuse me, dear. Puzzle and mystify. Tell me what can be fair and farewell, dear, while one single star shines above. How can there be any sense here? Aren't we sincerely in love? We're in love.
suppose you look alone or anything.
No!
Well, I have some wonderful caramel milk with hotel if you would...
Mr. Hill.
Professor Hill.
Professor what? At what college do they give you a degree for annoying women on the street, like a Saturday night rowdy at a public dance hall?
Oh, I wouldn't know about that. I'm a conservatory man myself. Gary, Indiana. Gold medal class of 05.
Even should that happen to be true, does that give you the right to follow me around wherever I go? Another thing, Mr. Hill, I am not as easily mesmerized or hoodwinked as some of the other people in this town. And I'll have you know, I have a shelf full of reference books that may very well give you some interesting information about you. Good day.
Hey, Greg.
Marcellus, and don't call me Greg.
How'd you make out with the music teacher?
Scrumptious. Ate out of my hand the moment I tipped my hat.
She did? Boy, did you could have swore tonight. For a minute, Dave, and I thought you knew something about leading a band. Just like when he used to imitate that band, Concertilla Beck and Drop.
Yeah. Oh, kid stuff. I'm rare form these days, son. Just keep your eyes on me for the next 4 weeks.
4 weeks? It used to only take 10 days for the instruments to arrive.
It still does. But 4 weeks for the uniforms.
Oh, no, Greg, you haven't had it. Uniforms?
Uniforms and instruction books.
Instruction books? But you can't pass yourself off as a music professor. I mean, not for any 4 weeks.
But, Mars.
But you don't know one note from another.
I have a revolutionary new method called the think system. Here you don't bother with notes.
But in 4 weeks, people want to hear the music. You'll have to lead a band.
And in 4 weeks, they'll forget about all that. At least enough time for me to collect and leave. This is a fine operation, son, and I have it timed down to the last wave of the brakeman's hand on the last train out of town. Now, if you excuse me, Mr. Washburn.
Gonna line yourself up some canoodle, huh?
Oh, well.
Say, I can fix you up with Ethel's sister. Lovely girl, teaches Sunday school.
No wide-eyed either Sunday school teacher for me. That kind of girl spins webs no spider ever. Now listen, boy, a girl who trains on all that purity merely wants to trade in my independence for her security. The only affirmative she will file refers to marching down the aisle of golden, glorious, glimmering, pristine goddess.
No, sir!
For no Diana do I play fawn.
I can tell you that right now.
I snarl, I hiss. How could ignorance be compared to bliss?
I spark, I fizz, for a lady who knows what time it is.
I cheer, I rave, for the virtue I'm too late to save. The sadder but wiser girl for me.
No pride, I'm blushing, breathless baby doll baby.
No, sir, that kind of child ties knots no sailor ever knew.
I prefer to take a chance on a more adult romance.
No dewy young miss that keeps resisting. All the time she keeps insisting. No wide-eyed, eager, innocent female. No, sir, for she's the fisherman, I'm the fish you see.
Hola! I flinch, I shy, when the last of the delicate air goes by.
I smile, I grin, when the gal that touches sin walks in.
I hope, I pray, for Hess to win just one more A.
The sadder but wiser girl's the girl for me. The sadder but wiser girl for me.
My husband will wish to investigate, I'm sure. And naturally, I'm reticent. Oh yes, I'm reticent.
Oh, but Mrs. Shin, of course, as part of my music plans for the city, there's a dance. Mrs. Shin, your foot, the way you moved it, just there.
Oh, well, I have a bunion there that bothers.
What grace, what elegance, what natural flow of rhythm.
Mr. Hill.
Well, I say, you must accept the chairmanship for the Ladies' Auxiliary for Classic Dance. Every move you make speaks of Del Sarte. Oh, you must accept, mustn't she, ladies?
Oh, yes, you have to. Eulalie McKechnie-Shin. That is dancing.
Then
well,
you accept?
Yes, indeed. And I would like to say...
Thank you. And now, as for the piano girl, Marion Peru? After all, she is the librarian.
Big little tuck, little, big little tuck, little, cheep, 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 tug a lot, big little more, big little tuck, little, big little tuck, little, cheep, 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 tug a lot, big little more, big little tuck, little, big little tuck, little, cheep, 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 tug a lot, big little more, big little tuck, little, big little tuck, little, cheep, 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 cheep.
Professor, her kind of women is a belong on any kind of committee. Of course, I shouldn't tell you this, but she advocates dirty books.
Dirty books?
Chaucer.
Big little tuck, little, cheep, 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 tug a lot, big little more, big
Bullseye.
cheep, 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 cheep. And the worst thing is, of course I shouldn't tell you this, but I'll tell. Cheep, 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 tug a lot,
Stop! I'll tell. That woman made brazen overtures to a man who never had a friend in this town until she came here. Old Miser Madison.
Miser, Madison Gymnasium, Madison Picnic Park, Madison Hospital. That? Miser, Madison?
Exactly. Who do you think he was anyway?
I'd say a show-off. I bet he gave the town a library, too.
Well, that's just it. When he died, he left the library building to the city.
But he left all the books to her.
She was seen going and coming from his place.
Oh, yes. Oh, yes. That woman made brazen overtures with a gilt-edged hair. She had golden glint in her eye and a silver voice for the counterfeit. Just melt her down and you'll reveal all of her light as full of steel here. Her woman's heart. Chip, 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 chip. He liked her singing in a library building, but she left all the books to her. Chaucer. Chip, 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 chip. I'll pick a little more. Pick a little tuck, little pick a little tuck. Chip, 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 chip. Pick a little tuck, little pick a little tuck. Chip, 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 chip. I'll pick a little more.
I have exactly everything you need over the top. Follow me. Good night, ladies.
Pick a little more. Pick a little tuck, little pick a little tuck. Chip, 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 chip.
Good night.
Chip, 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 chip. I'll pick a little more. Pick a little tuck. Chip, 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 chip. I'll pick a little more. Pick a little tuck. Chip, 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 chip. I'll pick a little more. Pick a little tuck. Chip, 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 chip. Pick a little tuck, little pick a little tuck. Chip, 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 chip. I'll pick a little more. Pick a little tuck, little pick a little tuck. Chip, 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 chip. I'll pick a little more. Pick a little tuck. Chip, 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 chip. I'll pick a little more. Pick a little tuck, little pick a little tuck, little pick a little tuck, little pick a little tuck. Chip, 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 pick a little tuck, little chip.
It's all right. I know everything. It doesn't make any difference to me.
What?
You're probably very young and everyone makes mistakes.
What are you talking about?
No explanations, no apologies, please. I'm only in town a short while and a sad little heiser girl for me.
Will you please make your selection and leave?
I have.
Well, what are you wanting to take out?
The librarian. Shh. Librarian. Mary, you're not listening. Look. Marian. Marbles. pewees, and one large glassy with an American flag in the middle. I think I'll drop them.
No!
Shh, Madam Librarian. What can I say? My dear, to catch your ear, I love you madly, madly, Madam Librarian. Marian, heaven help us, the library caught on fire, and the volunteer hose brigade men had to whisper the news to Marian. Madam Librarian. What can I do, my dear, to make it clear? I need you badly, badly, Madam Librarian. Marian, if I stumble and I busted my whatchamacallit, I can lie on your floor unnoticed till my body had turned to carrion. Madam Librarian. Now in the moonlight, a man could sing it. In the moonlight, and a fellow would know that his daughter had heard every word of his song. And the moonlight, helping along. But when I tried, and here to tell you, dear, I love you madly, madly, Madam Librarian. Marian, the long lost cause I can never win, for the civilized world accepts as unforgivable sin. And he taught me out loud with any librarian, such as Marian. Madam Librarian. But when I try and here to tell you, dear, good afternoon. Made 11 sales of 12 tries. Say, it's almost dinner time. Why don't you run along home and get some dinner? I'll do these next two by myself.
Goodbye, Professor.
Thanks, Tommy.
Just a minute here. Are you soliciting? You haven't got a license.
Oh, I know, Mayor Shin. I collect doorbells. You see, this fine specimen here has a unique tone quality that just...
Flattery will not avail you. Soliciting is statutory in this county. Malfeasance without a permit. Say, why would you be at City Hall with your references?
I just missed you. Oh, no. Mayor Shin.
What? What?
The spread of your little finger. It's hereditary.
It is? What does that mean?
It means that your boy's little finger is perfectly situated to operate the spit valve on the B-flat flugelhorn.
Is that good?
Good. And it means at last America has produced an artist that can flugle the minute waltz in 50 seconds.
Say, how can I get myself one of them horns?
Sign here, Mr. Mayor. That'll be $17 in work fee.
Wow, just to think, I convinced this whole... Wait a minute. I haven't got a son. You unscrupulous fool by night, you unscrupulous... Be out at City Hall with your by-God papers by 3 o'clock or else.
3 o'clock this afternoon?
I couldn't be any plainer if I was a Quaker on his day off.
Mrs. Peru, did you know you have the facial characteristics of a cornet virtuoso?
I don't know if I understand you entirely, Professor.
If your boy has that same firm chin and those splendid cheek muscles, by George, not that he could be truly great, that is.
Oh, is that so? And in the name of St. Bridget, why not?
Oh, well, the really great cornet players were Irish. O'Clark, O'Klein, Mendez.
But, Professor, we're Irish.
No, you don't say. That seals it. Your boy was born to play the cornet. Sign here, Mrs. Peru. That'll be $7 earnest money. Thank you. And of course, I'll need the boy's measurements for his uniform.
His uniform?
Hello, son. Certainly. His uniform. And not a penny more due till delivery. That gives you 4 weeks to anticipate, to imagine, at no cost whatsoever. Never allow the demands of tomorrow to interfere with the joys and excitement of today.
Would it have
A stripe? Certainly, my boy. One large red stripe on either side. How does that sound?
You'll have to excuse Winthrop, Professor. We can't get him to say 3 words a day even to us. But if you can get him to play in that band, he'll have St. Michael's own way with you. If anybody can do it, I'll bet you can. Out of a crowd, I'll pick you for a hood carrying, clay pipe smoking, shamrock wearing, harp playing, maverick, pitch a terrace hall, minstrel singing Irishman. Big up and pajamas. Where are you from, big boy?
Gary, Indiana.
I knew it. Gary, where did you say?
Gary, Indiana. In fact, Gary Conservatory was my alma mater. Gold medal class of 05.
Was she now?
Why, yes, of course. How to do, Miss Peru?
How to do, Mr. Hill?
Peru. I thought the name sounded familiar. You see, I was just talking
He wants to put Winthrop in the band.
Mama, we're not interested.
But Marion, the boy might have his father's musical gift. He does have my jaw, you know.
Oh, your father was musical. Well, I'd love to have a conversation with him. I'm sure we'd have a great chat.
Do you burst into everyone's homes like this, prying into personal affairs? We're not interested.
Marion!
Well, that's 1 for and 1 against. Why don't we let the boy's father decide?
The boy's father is dead. Anything else?
Oh, well, that's all the more reason your brother should have something like this.
My brother is a 10-year-old problem child who can't understand why his father was taken away from him. Would you care to explain it to him? He's been brooding about it for 2 years. And as to your musical tricks, why don't you go into business with some nice carnival man who sells gold-painted watches and glass diamond rings?
Musical tricks. Miss Peru, I have a feeling she likes the idea. A little cautious, perhaps, but I admire that man. Just keep me alive. I'll be back later this week.
One moment, Professor Ridd. About the boy's measurements, I make all his clothes. Sleeve 21, waist 18, crotch 14.
That'll be all. Thank you.
And Professor, I do hope you'll excuse Marion. She's not
No
good.
explanations, please. I'm as sure as at heart she's a lovely woman as yourself. Good day to you, Miss Peru.
Has he gone?
He has, and I hope not forever. Darling, don't you ever think of your future. Gary, Indiana Conservatory, Class 05. Now, darling.
Now, Mom, surely every girl's future doesn't depend on every fast-talking, self-centered, woman-chasing, traveling band that comes to town. And the fact that he claims his commodity is music does not, in this particular case, impress me.
All right, darling, all right. Only it's a well-known principle that if you keep the flint in one drawer and the steel in another, you'll never strike much of a fire.
Mama! Winthrop, I know you're there. There you are. Please go to the library and ask Miss Grubb to give you the book I set aside. It's the Indiana State Educational, 1890 to 1910. It's a large brown book with black corners.
Do I have to?
You won't have to say a word. I have it all written down. Thank you, dear.
Now, what are you up to? Why do you need books at this hour of the night?
I have a feeling that the Indiana State Educational might help me poke some large holes into the professor's claims.
Well, I give up at your age, if you don't mind my asking. What kind of white knight do you expect to come riding along?
Well, I'm not asking for Luther Grinan who backs me into the ancient history shelf every time he comes into the library.
He does?
Or Ed Gamage with his buggy with the removable back seat. But I'm not asking for a man in shining white armor either.
Zanita!
Tommy, Mom, Papa, right there in the bank. He got.
Okay, then meet me after supper.
I can't. It's at late night. Meet you where?
The footbridge.
You see? Isn't that just it? Last time the lumberyard, now the footbridge. And where will you meet me after that? In the black hole of Calcutta? Ye gods!
I only want to show you my invention.
What invention?
It's a music holder for a marching piccolo player, but there are still a few minor flaws, like if it's tight enough to hold the music, you can't wiggle your fingers. Meanwhile, you could go blind.
Tommy, it's Papa!
Is it the first thing I said or not?
Yes, George.
Yes, the very first thing I said are Allie Hay with the horse. Get that spellbinder's credentials. Morning of July 4th, 1912. And now look, my wife was off dancing at any and all hours instead of inside at home.
But George.
The school board took it up street and down alley instead of attending to city matters. My oldest girl is fooling around with some wild hoodlum. My business has fallen off so far I can't find the balance sheet.
I found some interesting information about Professor Hill's alma mater.
His who?
His university.
Yes. I know all about that. In fact, it's the only thing I know about that man. Gary Conservatory, class of lot 5.
If you just read a little bit about the conservatory, you won't have to look much further. It's on page...
Papa! The Wells Fargo industry is coming up from the depot!
A likely story. At this hour of day? Nonsense. The Wells Fargo wagon.
It could be the band instruments!
The band instruments?
My cornet, do you think, Professor?
Men, you'll each receive instruction in due time. In the meantime, stay off the streets, get acquainted with your instruments, and think about the minuet in G. La da di da di da da da.
Sister, isn't this the most scrumptious old thing you ever saw? And there's signs things so scrumptious as the scrumptious old thing. Oh, sister!
Round one for you, Mr. Hill, but I better hear some guy tooting out of the horns in pretty short order, or I'll see you in front of the grand jury over at the county seat. Now, Miss Mary, about that book.
Come, George, Tempest Fugates.
You watch your phraseology, woman. I have to get something from the librarian. About that book.
The ladies' dance committee meets every Tuesday night over at the high school. Will you go? For me?
We will now enjoy a 15-minute intermission. During intermission in the lobby,